Hello and welcome to another Final Fantasy VII video. In this video we're going to be fighting that guy, Ruby Weapon. Now why are we going to be doing this video even though this game's been out 20 plus years, people have beaten this boss before and have strategies on how to do so, but this is really just sharing my own personal experience with learning to defeat this boss on my own for the first time. And I'm going to show you how I did it. And we're going to enjoy some nostalgia. So first off, if you played the game, obviously you know you really want to go into this boss fight with two people knocked out, because one, doing so will make Ruby Weapon put his claws in the sand, which you need to do in order to damage him, and two, if you go into the fight with all of the party healthy, or really just more than one person healthy, he will use an attack called Whirl Sand, which completely removes someone from the battle, and it's awful. All you really need to do, other than having people knocked out, I've got some additional help here, and just because, but W summon, Hades, Knights of the Round, and mime on all three people. Yeah, there's mime. And Master Command. And I am using Yuffie and Tifa. No particular reason whatsoever. Love Tifa. Yuffie, not so much. She's okay, I guess. And we're also going to be fighting this guy on the back of a gold chocobo, because this is my favorite way to initiate the battle. Right into battle on my beautiful gold chocobo, and I can cross the desert with him. So, little backstory about the bosses. Ruby Weapon and Emerald Weapon, two optional side bosses that are very difficult, relatively speaking, to this game. A lot of people probably think they're the easiest ever. You know, they're definitely not the hardest Final Fantasy bosses in the series, but they're pretty hard if you don't know how to beat them and you don't have a little bit of help. So if you're overpowered, yeah, you won't have as hard a time with this. I wasn't that overpowered when I figured this out, and I struggled against this boss many times. And the reason why I struggled is I didn't have a materia called Final Attack. So this boss would eventually, no matter how much damage I did, he would wipe me out because I was weak. And I didn't have the Final Attack materia. Now, if you're strong, like I said, you don't even need that Final Attack materia. But why didn't I have the Final Attack materia, might you ask? Struggling against this boss as many times as I did? Well, that's because the goddamn worthless strategy guide tells you it's a chocobo racing gift, and it is not. It's in the battle arena. I can't tell you how many chocobos I raced in this godforsaken gold structure for months and months and months trying to get the Final Attack materia that the strategy guide said was a chocobo racing gift, and it never showed up even once, because it's at the battle arena. Yep, so if you really needed the Final Attack materia to do these, well, you're out of luck. So, but I did, luckily, figure out a trick to beat this guy. It takes a while. It took even longer when I was really weak. But we're going to do it. So we ride into battle on our chocobo, like so. First thing he's going to do, of course, is put his claws in the sand, like we saw. We need him to do this to damage him. And also, we don't want him to use that Whirl Sand attack because it ruins lives. So just revive after doing this. Now we just need to go to Cloud. We're going to use W summon. And he's going to try to confuse somebody here. And you can't, because she has ribbon on. So beautiful. Hades and then Knights of the Round. That's all you have to do. And then mime it till the end of the fight. That's it. Fight over. He can't do anything. We won. So what are we doing here? Well, we're summoning Hades, which we'll talk more about this, but this is my final, my best, or my favorite summon in this game. You summon the devil himself to cast this spell and make creepy noises, and he has this cauldron full of pink stuff. It looks like Valentine's Day, and it looks cool. Looks like it should do a big damage. It does 266. So it's like worthless against this boss in terms of damage. But why did we use it? Well, that's because this boss is immune to all status effects in this game except paralysis. It can be paralyzed. Hades is one of the only attacks that can paralyze this boss, and it will do so every time you use it. So he's paralyzed. You can see he's not moving at all, except when attacked. So, two things. One, why did Hades do next to no damage to this guy? Because almost no attacks are going to damage Ruby Weapon. Because it has the highest defensive stat in the game of any enemy. It's like 455 or something stupid like that. You literally cannot even hardly damage the guy unless you use certain attacks. Knights of the Round being one of these attacks, as you see, it does big damage. But why did we have to use Hades? Why not just W summon 2 Knights of the Round? Well, that's because if you use Knights of the Round, he's going to counterattack it with Ultima, which is going to do big damage. Well, if you W summon 2 Knights of the Round, that means you're going to get hit with Ultima 2 times in a row, which is probably going to wipe you out. It would wipe my party out if I didn't have like magic barrier or wall or something like that up. But because we paralyze him with Hades, we don't need to worry about the counterattack. So literally we chain these 2 attacks forever until he dies, and that's it. So we get to watch these really cool summons over and over again for about the next 12 to 15 minutes. And I don't mind, because I love watching these summons. I'm not going to speed them up. We're just going to sit here and bond and talk a little bit. Yeah, you guys can maybe find out a little more about me as I upload more videos, and we'll increase the quality of these streams, and I won't be using my headset to record my audio anymore. I will be using some nice mics and other things like that going forward. But I love Final Fantasy VII. It's my favorite game. I'm super pumped for the remake. Wanted to upload a couple of videos, and this was just a strategy that I finally uncovered to beat this guy. As a kid, by myself, I did have a strategy guide, but it was pretty much worthless. It just really was, except for, actually telling you what to do to beat the story, who to talk to. That's kind of why I had it. I remember the section where, the northern barrier gets destroyed and you have to return to Midgar, and this awesome music is playing, and I'd try to go to Midgar on foot. And forever and ever and ever I do this, wondering why the game will not advance. Well, it's because you just have to fly over Midgar. The game doesn't tell you that. So, yeah, another part of the game that I was stuck at for months without knowing what to do. And didn't have any friends that had this game that played it more than I did. Nobody was ever farther than me that played this game. So, kind of was on my own there. And this was pre-internet days. You couldn't just go Google how to beat this boss. It just didn't work like that. You couldn't just Google what to do next, because, dial-up internet was a thing. It was so slow. And I was a kid, and, it takes 2 minutes just to connect to the internet, in which case it sounds like RoboCop is inside your computer. And then, you can't even, my family, always got phone calls and stuff all the time for whatever reason, and I'd be online for 2 minutes trying to search something, and my dad would pick up the phone, destroy the connection by picking up the phone, by the way, and then he would get mad at me when I'm the one getting screwed of searching up Final Fantasy VII information. So, yeah, I didn't have an easy time figuring these things out on my own. But I did figure out, just through trial and error, you could paralyze this boss. Now, there's another way you can paralyze this boss. You do not have to use Hades summon. You could use an item called Dazers, and this item paralyzes an enemy. Now, I never figured that out because I never really used items other than like to heal. Maybe use like a turbo ether, or as I called it as a kid, turbo ether, because that's how it was spelled. I didn't know the pronunciation was ether. So, yeah, elixirs and stuff like that. I didn't want to attack enemies with items because I thought it was lame. I wanted to use this overpowered magic that you spend so much time trying to obtain, and these limit breaks you work so hard trying to obtain. So I just wanted to use those, so I never figured out that this guy's weakness was Dazers, a really random item. Yeah. So yeah, Final Fantasy VII, my favorite game. Definitely my favorite Final Fantasy installment. Probably just because it's the first one I played. And I'll admit my bias. I'll admit it. This was like the coolest thing I'd ever seen when it came out. Later I played Final Fantasy VIII. Loved it. Not as much as this, but I did love it. Then the next game I played, Final Fantasy X. The first game I got on PlayStation 2, I got that and Kingdom Hearts on the same day that I got my PlayStation 2. And I had to wait a long time to get one. I had to save up some money, so I was super pumped to play both of them. And loved both of them. I loved playing Blitzball. Hated the final boss of 10. One of the most anticlimactic garbage things that ever happened in a video game. I understand it from a story perspective, but still love the game. Final Fantasy X-2 was the next one I played, and I hated it. Absolutely hated it. Wanted to throw it out my window. Absolutely despised it. Didn't think it was fun at all. Didn't get it. Yeah. And swore off Final Fantasy games for a while at that point. Eventually I played Final Fantasy 15 about a year ago. And it was quite good. Quite a good story. Not the greatest, but an interesting, updated Final Fantasy gameplay. I did like the story. Although it's kind of disappointing that the whole story isn't in the original game. You have to get DLC to understand the backstory of somebody important. So, and it's amazing, but it would have been nice if that was part of the actual game, so you actually knew what was happening and why. I'd also played Final Fantasy IX about 2 years ago and loved it. I mean, epic. That actually, just overall, 9 and 8 were both really good. I don't know which of those I preferred. They're both really good. I love playing cards in Final Fantasy VIII. But Final Fantasy IX was awesome. Had a great story. Great dialogue. Cloud, my favorite Final Fantasy protagonist. Love Cloud. He's awesome. He's been through so much, but he's still so awesome. Tifa, awesome character. Yuffie, she's okay. She's cute and whatever, but she turns on you, so I don't really like that. Vincent is awesome. Vincent is my boy. Vincent is totally my Final Fantasy boy. Such a cool character. I don't even care that his limit break is worthless, and that he's kind of a worthless battle character because of his limit break. You lose control of him. And he only has 4 limit breaks, but I still love Vincent. Sid, also my boy. Love Sid. As I get older, I become more and more like Sid. Cursing all the time. I love Sid. Yeah, I'm just really pumped for the Final Fantasy remake, 7 remake. I'm going to try to play some other games. Really just wanted to share my experience with Ruby Weapon. And as I said earlier, this is not taking that long. I mean, we're about to beat him. I think maybe 2 more nights of the round, or maybe, and he'll be defeated. But because we're doing pretty decent damage, even though it's not max damage. When I was doing this fight for the first time, it took a lot longer because I was not doing as much damage. I didn't know how to source farm, and I haven't even maxed out people's stats here, as you can see, but it doesn't really matter. So, who's up? Tifa. I think once Cloud finishes his turn, that's gonna be all she wrote. So I'm not even gonna really even do anything with Tifa here. I'm just gonna watch these 2 awesome summons. I think this is an underrated summon. Not just for the status effects, but this guy's creepy. I mean, you summon the devil himself to take this magic cauldron, a pot of goulash, and he dumps it on your enemy. I mean, it's like, I just love that. Even though Ultimate End is a much better name for a summon. I mean, it just is epic. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. You summon, I think it's supposed to be King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. And there's 13 of them. I think the last one is maybe allegedly supposed to be King Arthur. Maybe this is just hearsay, but they attack you with swords and axes and big things and ice magic and earth magic and helicopters. Yeah. Pretty cool overpowered summon. It's just unfortunate that the rewards for beating, you know, and of course this boss and Emerald Weapon, they're optional bosses. You don't have to fight them. They're just super bosses, so to speak. They were very hard for me, but it's unfortunate that the rewards are for this guy is kind of crap. You get a lot of experience and AP, but by this point you're probably max level, so it's kind of pointless to grant you that much experience. And then Cloud is next. So it's kind of pointless to grant you that much experience, and then you do get an item, Desert Rose, that you can change for a gold chocobo. And I already have a gold chocobo, but if you don't have a gold chocobo, that means you don't have Knights of the Round. So basically you can get Knights of the Round if you beat this guy. But if you can beat him without Knights of the Round, you're freaking overpowered. You don't need it. Like, what a stupid reward. One thing that would happen, as you can see, like, I did actually, even though I'm not max level and I didn't source farm that much, you can see that my party is relatively powerful. That I had some speed plus, magic plus on people. The speed plus especially helps you really stay attacking this boss, and he doesn't even get to do a move after you start attacking him. But back in the day, you know, my characters weren't that fast. And what would happen is sometimes is he would break the chain because he could sometimes become unparalyzed after you use Hades, but then he's unparalyzed when you use Knights of the Round like I am right now, and then he breaks your chain because he hits you with Ultima, and then you have to heal and you gotta do it all again. That used to be pretty annoying if that happened, but it's not happening here because I'm too fast. And this is I'm pretty sure gonna kill him right here. I mean, he has a ton of HP, super high defense. Even using Knights of the Round, you gotta hit him with it so many times to beat him. Alright, I think that's it. I hope so, because I'm not even attacking with anyone else at this point. We're right. Look at that. So yeah, that's it. That is how you can beat him, and like I said, it took a lot longer the first time I ever did it, but it worked. If he's paralyzed, he can't do anything, so. And that is one way you can defeat Ruby Weapon, even if you're kind of weak like I was. You don't need the final attack materia to do that, so. Yeah, we'll be uploading some more videos. I don't know if we'll do more Final Fantasy VII videos or not. I don't really have any other insight. I had the Lost Number boss video in this one as well. Not really a lot of insight in this game. I'm just sharing some stories about my childhood, and learning to beat that guy the way I just did was probably the crowning achievement of my childhood to a certain point. So we'll do some more videos, maybe some live streaming of kind of want to live stream the Final Fantasy VIII remake when it comes out, or remaster of Final Fantasy VIII, and that should be pretty epic. So yeah, I hope to see you guys again. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon.